I'd like you to think about a time when you felt truly heard, when your opinions, your experiences, your suggestions, your ideas mattered. They were listened to, they were validated, and they made a difference. Hold on to that feeling. Now, think about a time when you didn't feel heard, when maybe you were ignored, dismissed, that your ideas, opinions, and experiences weren't validated, that they didn't lead to change, and how that made you feel. Again, hold on to that feeling. This is a little Brenda. That feeling wasn't just a moment for me. It was most of my childhood. I was born in Liverpool in a mother and baby home. I grew up in a council estate and I witnessed a lot that I shouldn't have. There was domestic abuse, there was alcoholism, there was lots of violence in the area I lived in, and I didn't have a say. Nobody ever asked me what I wanted. I was moved from parent to parent. I was involved with social care, social services, and I had some very, very dark experiences at that time. I remember being so scared and so lost at one point that I locked myself in a bathroom for 4 hours whilst everyone else was talking about me. Decisions were made about me, not with me. I didn't have a voice. I didn't feel valued. I didn't feel heard. I didn't feel listened to. There are over 14 million young people in the UK. 14 million. Yet many of them feel very disenfranchised, very disillusioned, very let down by the support and the services that should be there to enable them to co-produce and also to have a say and a voice into what happens to them. Young people tell us what they want and need. Many of whom are sitting here today have all got opinions, they've all got experiences, they've all got ideas. They all are experts in their own lives. They want to feel listened to. They want to feel valued. They want to have an equal seat at the table when decision making is concerned. And they also want to see real change happen as a result of what they're involved in. Every young person has a voice, but not every young person believes it matters. And really, that's what we want to change. The turning point for me was when people started to listen. I started to find people that believed in me. I started to find people that wanted to hear my voice. And as I got older, I believed my voice mattered, and that's when everything changed. I've now been in the career that I'm in for over 20 years, and I absolutely love it. I'm able to ensure that young people have a say and have a voice, and it's a huge, huge passion of mine to ensure that no young person feels the way I did. Too often, we design services for young people without them. Too often, we wonder why they don't work, but we've not involved the experts. We invest money, we invest time and effort, we try to get it right, but essentially we're guessing. We're guessing what they want and what they need. And then we wonder why it doesn't work. But really, we don't fix systems by shouting louder. We don't fix systems by any other way other than sharing who holds the power and giving experts in their own life a seat at the table and enabling them to have a say in what happens to them, but also what that support that they need looks like. Okay, so this is the idea of co-production. Maybe something that you've heard before, maybe something that you haven't. But co-production is basically not doing things for people, it's doing it with them. It's doing things with people that make a difference to their lives. It's basically doing versus creating with, doing with rather than that as well. So we can design support services for them. Care experienced young people, like I was, actually really getting involved and making a change to what that looks like. young people deciding how maybe finances are spent, interviewing some of the professionals they work with. If I think back to if that was me and the difference that would have made to some of the people that I had to work with, young people really, really being involved. And also in terms of things like schools, co-design and policies. I know here at Latimer, a lot of the policies are co-designed with the young people. We have in this borough as well, in Hammersmith and Fulham, an amazing youth council that really, really co-produce everything that happens for young people in this borough. Okay, in Hammersmith and Fulham, I've spent since 2009 actually building up what co-production with young people looks like, and it's leading to real, tangible change. It's having a huge impact on the crime rates for young people within the borough. It's also having a huge impact on how much young people are engaged in the activities that are there for them and the opportunities. They get to actually design the youth centres and the provision that is here in Hammersmith and Fulham. They get to go in and decide what it looks like and how it works for them. And I'm immensely proud of the level of co-production that young people are involved in all aspects of decision making in our borough. Co-production is huge in Hammersmith and Fulham. We do have a disabled residents committee that literally plan and decide on how they are supported as residents, and the idea of co-production is embedded across our local authority and partners, which again, I'm really thankful for. So, co-production, why does it matter? Obviously, we've looked at why it's important for young people to have a voice and a say, and really, they are the experts in their own lives. But it has so many tangible outcomes from co-production. It can, for the young people, have individualized outcomes where the young people become more confident, they get involved in more positive activities, they feel listened to, they feel validated, they feel involved, they feel part of their community, they feel heard, and that can in its turn have an impact on their mental health, on their engagement in the community, and later in civic life. It can also lead to safer communities. We touched on briefly there for, in terms of kind of crime rates and young people being involved in positive activities, where young people shape, or other partners in our residents shape the services they receive. There's a much better uptake of those services because it's what people want and need, not what we think they want. And it leads to greater opportunity as well. Over the years, I've worked with many vulnerable young people, those that are seen to be hard to reach, difficult to engage. And when you actually give them a seat at the table and they're able to design what support they get, they have much more to say than we envisage. So, as I said before, the greatest experts in a young person's life, young people themselves, yeah? For me, everybody did it without me. Everyone told me how I should think, what I should do, where I was going to live, what it was going to look like. And I've seen so many examples of when that happens with young people. And that is why young people are disengaged and disenfranchised, because they're not being heard. Nothing about us without us. This is a slogan that's used in the disabled rights movement. It should be something that we use for young people, with young people, and that nothing that we design for them is done without them. So it's not about giving young people a voice. They've already clearly got one, and I'm sure there's lots of examples here today of young people having a say and a voice within the school. But it's our job to truly value that voice, to truly listen, and to truly act upon it. Okay, so my request to you, or something that I'd like you to think about, instead of us asking what we can do for young people, what's the best for young people, what can we do to make a change in the borough, ask them, work with them, co-produce with them, and ask yourself, what would happen if we design our world with young people? And I'd just like to leave you on one final note. I spent years wondering if my voice was valued. Now I make sure that young people never feel that way. Thank you.